computer. Alrighty, thank you for joining Cluesy Clinic's Frequency today. We have a special guest today who you can see on the screen. All the way across the ditch from New Zealand is the lovely Courtney. Now, as part of, hey Courtney, thanks for joining us today. So we've been doing a thing at Cluesy called Fruitful February, where we're helping people get more fruitful finances, more fruitful health, whether that's physical health or mental health, and basically just helping them set their 2021 up to be a really good year. Now, we've got you on the call today because you are a gangster co-owner of a mind and body coaching program at Squad Sisters over there in New Zealand, where the hardy come and the strong survive. I love it. You're a founder of the Facebook group called Boss Bitch Official, where the bitch stands for being in true coherent health. I absolutely love that. I'm a part of your group. I loved all the content in that that you put on there. And it really is a place where women can redefine their normal and redesign their lives. So welcome.
Thanks.
So just on a side note, what made you start the Squad Sisters and the Boss Bitch Official stuff?
Well, actually, Boss Bitch came up because my husband was pissing me off one day. And I was in the bath and I was like, it was after one of our One Life events, actually. So I was starting to feel myself, starting to feel a bit more confident, and realize that, you know, when you do that retreat space or anything like that's transformational, you come out a different person.
Yeah.
And my person that came out was a boss bitch. And so he was pissing me off. I went and had a bath. I was like, you're not going to stay in this fucking pity bath forever. So fuck it. You're a boss bitch. Let's tit up. So, and then I did this live, because you remember we had to do that challenge, the video challenge, and we had to do 50 videos, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So one of my very first ones was that. And I just said, because I've got like a little bit of verbal, you know, diarrhea, and it just went, blah, 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 blah. And Boss Bitch was born. And so I just started a group because I thought, fuck, there must be other people around that like are coming into their own or want to come into their own. And so, yeah. I started Boss Bitch. It's been going 4 years this year.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
One thing we do love that you use is called the Fuck It Bucket. So it sounds really interesting, and I love a good Fuck It Bucket. So tell us, Courtney, what's that entail?
So the Fuck It Bucket was, first it was like a mental concept. So one day my little girl, who's just sitting over there actually, she was getting bullied. She must have been about 9 at the time, getting bullied. And, you know, I'm a she-wolf, so I was like ready to get in there and help her out about that situation, but she didn't want me to, but she didn't want to go to school. And what was happening was I was doing my little boy's hair, because he used to have long hair, and she was like, Mum, I don't want to go to school. And I was like, you know, you're just like, hang on, man, I'm busy. And she was like, Mum, I really don't want to go to school. So my girl's a nerd, and she never says anything like that. She's a celebrated nerd. We love it. She never says anything like, I just can't take it today. Like, that's like a warning sign. Like if someone says to you, I just can't take it today, you know, you got to do something about it. And I was like, oh, well, should we just stay home and do nothing? And she was like, yeah. And then I went live again about it. And I said on my live, fuck it. We're just going to have a Fuck It Bucket day. So Fuck It Bucket day was, let's do nothing. Let's not even deal with our problems. Let's just put them in the Fuck It Bucket and have this cool as nothingness day of movies and junk food. So that's kind of how it was born. And then because I used to run a team building business as well, I decided to take the Fuck It Bucket way of thinking and into that space, and it actually became a product. So I just went to the Kmart and got like a gold, you know, those little buckets.
Yeah.
And so when I'd start a session, I'd be like, okay, we're going to do a Fuck It Bucket session. They're like, oh my God, what is that? Because it kind of shocks the brain. And I was like, well, you put all your problems in here because we can't deal with your problems right now. And like, it kind of, when people are coming to your sessions or your meeting with all the problems that can't be solved that day, they can't focus on what the learnings might be for your session. So we put everything in there, and I'm just like, fucking put whatever you want. My husband won't do the washing. My kids were assholes. You'd be quite, actually some of the stuff can be quite heavy as well that they put in there. Nobody looks at it. We put it in there. I chuck it in the rubbish outside of the room, and then we do gratitude. like we do a gratitude wall, but
That
it's
is so
more to
cool.
like put the shit that can't be dealt with right now over there so that you can do the stuff that serves you right now, you know?
That is so cool because, yeah, a lot of the times people are bringing in all their problems and, yeah, it blocks their creativity, brings down the room. So that's amazing that you get rid of all the crap and replace it with gratitude. You must be just kicking goals. So when have you, Courtney, had to use it personally?
Heaps out.
Have you
Like
got one
on
of
the
those
daily.
giant like skips for the
On
bucket?
the yeah, actually I see it. Sometimes I say to people, because I give them a piece of paper to write all their stuff, and I was like, "Fuck, if you need a wheelbarrow, like fucking let me know. I'll just pop out, go get one from 1 to 10." Because some people got some problems, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and that's all good. But I can't deal with that trailer load today. But personally, I use it all the time, like because even though I work a lot on my own personal development, I still have shit thoughts like about myself, about other people, and it might just be tied into like something I've eaten that day, and it's fucked up my gut health, and then I'm thinking all of these fucked up things or whatever. So I'm just like, I need to put you in the fucking bucket because I got a lot of like goals to kick and shit today. So like I've got a brother-in-law that I don't get along with.
Yeah.
I put him in that bucket many times. Like a lot, but I put people in there. I put my husband in there. I put my kids in there. They've put me in their fucking bucket. Like, yeah,
That's
just,
awesome.
yeah.
And have you been you've been doing that for years now? So do you find that there's actually less to put in the bucket, or you just every day we're confronted with stress, so there's always something to put in the bucket?
Yeah, I think, yep, I'm always putting stuff in there, but it's just like different levels of, so before it might have just been petty shit, like my brother-in-law saying something that triggered me, but now it's more like my, what do you call it? My limitations, like, because I'm very hard on myself because I'm very driven, and so I have to put a lot of my own shit in there, like my limitations. But I'm also Māori, and we're very connected to our wider community. So being Māori, you have your nucleus family, then you have your wider family, then you have your sub-tribe, then you have your iwi. So we are like an active Māori would normally be very active with all of those different groups.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I have to put those fuckers in there too.
You need a big bucket, man.
That's a big ass bucket. So, you know, and sometimes when you're dealing with tribal things, you're just like, so new level. It's like my friend says, new levels, new devils. So the better I get at something, the bigger the, you can't do this talk. So I still on the daily. I just don't really call I just have like a fucker bucket in my brain now. Yeah. So it's just
so
practice
cool.
it. Unless you ask me, I probably haven't even realized that that's where I put it.
Yeah. And then do you find that you pick the shit up out of the bucket, or it's gone?
It depends if it's real. So if it's a real problem that might affect like our day-to-day life or my family's happiness, then yeah, I'll pull it out when I have the emotional capacity to do so, and then I'll deal with it. So for instance, it might be like last week, we're like, am I allowed to talk about sex?
You can talk about anything you want.
Okay. So I talked about it on Boss Bitch anyway, but I thought, okay, this would be an example. So for years, sexually, I would like not push too hard, or I wouldn't push too hard for my own satisfaction all the time. But I've started to put that in the fucker bucket and be like, no. If I'm going to do this, one, I'm not going to be fake about it, and two, I'm going to enjoy every minute. So actually, let's stop and start again, because I accidentally went through my to-do list, my shopping list, what I've got to clean that day, and I feel fully disconnected to you. Is it okay if we try again? And he's like, because he wants to finish, right? And he wants to make sure that I'm happy about it. So he's like, yep.
Oh, you go, girl. Like, go, Damo. I'm sure he's happier about that too.
Yeah. Oh, I had to ask him, can I share that story? Because it's an actual thing, like, that happens. Like, fuck, what was your question?
That's so cool. And you've got 4 little kids as a result of those moments. At what age have you shared your fucker bucket with them? And do they, I know, because you've got a big range in age, like, do the older ones use it more? Have you taught the young ones as well?
Well, I think I didn't really teach them the concept, but they used to come to my workshops, and so they're old now. So
Yeah.
Puitu will be 18 this year, and then my youngest is 8.
Wow.
But I think, do you use the fucker bucket? I think they put me in it a lot. They're like, fuck, we're not dealing with her. She's crazy. And then I'll come back and I'll be like, yeah, sorry, I was an idiot too. But I think they definitely know about it, because 1, they helped me sell it. 2, they helped me like create the workshops around it.
Yeah.
And the other reason is Waimania my girl was a big part of that being something that was created. So they know about it. And I think they are more confident in their ability to sift through what's important and what's not, because they have that, even if it's in their unconscious, they have that as a learning. So yeah, I think
Did they try to implement it at their schools?
Nah.
They should have. I would have loved a fucker bucket when I was at school. I would have put all my teachers in there and most of the school people. But I went to a Catholic church, so I'll probably put the Bible in there too. But that's another story. And yeah, so lastly, Courtney, if you had one word of advice, you've got a big tribe, both culturally and a following of amazing women. If you were to give one piece of advice to them and us Aussies over here who unfortunately don't have that big tribe culture that you do, I'd love to have that. I'm so jealous. So yeah, if you had one piece of advice for everybody watching, what would that be?
James, my husband, always says that, I don't know, he could have got it from somewhere, but he always says you are not in control of your first thought, but you're in control of your second thought. And how thoughts become your things. So put the first thought, analyze the first thought. Is it true? Is it kind? Whatever, all that stuff. If it's not, chuck it in the fucker bucket, because you're in control of your second thought and how you action it from there. And that can tie into your family, your iwi or tribe, anything. Like, your thoughts are really, your thoughts are really important. They become your reality. So that would be my advice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think Kmart's going to have a rush on buckets. They're going to be like, why did we just sell out of buckets? Because everybody I know is going to go out and get themselves a bucket.
Yeah.
It's such a cool concept. It's such a cool concept, Courtney. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate your time. So how do we say, I know we say kia ora to say hello. How do we say goodbye?
Ka kite.
Ka kite.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to stop recording.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching Cluesy today. Thanks, Courtney.